Okay, time to put on the markings. As I mentioned before, I put them on early so that the later layers of weathering also affect the marking. I just put here, I measured the distance, just a place that I could do it. You know, these Balkan crosses were not exactly in the middle. Uh, First, I will paint the black cross. What I do is I just put the photo edged, I jam it in there, and when I paint, which I won't do in the video, what I do is I use some tweezers and as I'm painting, I don't mind getting the tweezers painted, but I make sure I jam in the stencil against the vehicle and then paint it. Okay, this is almost ready. The only thing still needed would be to avoid the overspray. I use this masking blue tape, and I will do like a little mask around the stencil. To cover any overspray. I put this other one there, and then I would just spray on the black with the tweezers so that I get a good sharp edge. Later on, I will remove that stencil and add the white corners that would go on the once the black is dry, and this will be the white. Not many markings on this tank. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna put a divisional insignia. I usually don't, so that way I can use it for more than one unit, even though at the end of the day I hardly ever use it more than once. I also built this small mask of the number I'll be using 201, because I already have a second company Panzer IV L version about the same time frame. So this will be 201, will be a company vehicle, not necessarily the commander, but it could be. Again, since zero, you know, you need to leave like little bridges to connect the inside. After I would paint that, it will have some gaps that I would just paint by hand. At the end of the day, these numbers were painted by hand. They were pretty good painting, so they look very sharp, but if they're a little bit irregular, I find it's okay. And what I try to avoid no matter what is decals, because you know, I love the flat finish of the vehicle, and for decals, you know, you have to make it glossy, you have to put the decals, add some gloss, then try to get rid of the gloss with matte finish, and it's kind of a mess. So better just to paint them on, and it looks a lot more real, I believe. This will go on the turret and on the rear bin, and just two of these crosses on each side, so it's not much for markings. I'll take some snapshots of the process. Okay, the mask is on. Very tight fit there, and there's no way I'm gonna cut the stencil. So again, I don't care if I paint the tweezers. I just want to make sure that the stencil is nice and tight. dries very quickly, so almost immediately. And for the purpose of the video, probably doing this quicker than I should. These bigger masks I would also use on the other end. Put like a little special piece to avoid having it sneak up the back. Okay, that's across. That's across there. Now we would go with a white. Okay, now the edges of the stencil are ready on the starboard side. I got my white ready. Again, I use either tweezers or in this case a file to press the stencil again. And I don't use white. I always the same, that I never use 100% black. White will be just off white. You won't notice it in the video, but it'll be slightly off white. Looks a little bit better. Okay. And I'm using the same masks. And I'll use the same on the other side. I'm only making I was gonna make an environmental joke, but I might as well not. Gotta be even a little more careful with the white, because obviously if the black leaks, it's not gonna have a big effect, but if the white leaks, it's gonna be a problem. Don't need any guiding here anymore because that's done. Okay, and there's the marking. Having the edge makes it really easy, so to score it, once you have the cross, there's pretty square. I always keep a mark on the edge I use. Once you put the black, then this one, you just look until the black is not showing on either side. So, and in this direction it'll be all set. So it's pretty easy application, and it looks a lot sharper than any decal. More later.